Hey everybody, it's pal Drew Dracy, and I'm back with some more comics from my spinner rack. So, Detective Comics, love that V as a bat shape. They should bring that back. Anyway, this is the era, great era of Alan Grant, Norm Brayfogle, and Steve Mitchell inker. Norm Brayfogle is such a sensational artist. He did many years and years on Batman with Alan Grant, and there's actually been two hardcover collections of Legends of the Dark Knight, Norm Brayfogle. It's their series of Batman books based on one creator. Like there's a couple of Jim Aparo, one of Michael Golden, one of Alan Davis, one of everybody. And this happens to be in the second volume. And trash. Oh, got that Will Eisner action going there. And establishing a lot of stuff going on here early on, but it's not wasted. Man, remember when the Teenage Mutant Ninja when the Turtles came out in 1989? I actually went to see it as a lark and found myself enjoying it. There's a lot of setup, but you know what? The script and the plotting, the way things are coming along, is really strong. It's great establishment. It's not just gibberish. So, and then here we go. This is what we paid the tickets for. Whoa. I ain't skipping this. How about that? Wow. The Batman needs no kiss on the cheek. For him, the night is enough. The wind in the neon city, the sting of chill air, the purity of one man's lonely mission. Vicky? Vicky who? That's great. Beautiful action. See, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away the story. This is a very Frank Miller approach to storytelling with the horizontal panels, and it works though. I mean, Brayfogle's, he's using that, but he makes it his own. It's not a cheat. Is what I'm saying. You have to know what you're doing to make it interesting, even if the panels are cropped. Wow, unbelievable. We miss you, Norm. So, what's interesting there is right there, this guy seems to be, this panel, Brayfogle seems to be a little influenced by Aparo and the way the guy's face is screaming, and it's really good. So, anyway, next on to Red Sonja. Fire and Fury in the Age of Conan. Although it's spelled different ways, Sonja and Son with a Y as well, but it's usually pronounced Sonja. So just to let you know. And Wendy Peeney, who is she's the artist and creator of ElfQuest, went to conventions in the early 70s with her husband Richard, and she dressed as Red Sonja, and wow, it was just pretty crazy. But hey, she it's so amazing how ElfQuest is just was really, it just became their own thing. They never sold out. In fact, Marvel ended up reprinting some of their books. So anyway, The Lake of the Unknown, and it's co-written by Roy Thomas and Clara Noto, who I do not remember, but Frank Thorne is the illustrator and the colorist. And I love how he draws her face. It's very cartoony. It's almost like absurd, but it works. In the cartoon landscape that Thorne has, creates on the page, this face with the big eyes and, kind of a potato-shaped head, it works. It looks great. Stuff like that's really killer. I'm not even really into I'm not really into Conan. I know just a little about Red Sonja, but I just like the Frank Thorne issues. I have no interest in any others. So, really great stuff. There we go. Good book. Now, Oy. Now this Jim Shooter came up with Defiant Comics after Valiant Comics. They had a meeting and they gave him the boot after about a year. So he started Defiant Comics, which I love that logo, the tower and the name and everything. And this is an oversized issue, and the story is actually pretty good, but the art is so odd. It's, drawn by Gray, and not Gray Morrow. Here we go. Okay, written by Jan Childress and Jim Shooter, drawn by Gray. It just sounds like a fake name. Artist by Alan Weiss, Adam Polina, inked by Charles Yoakum. Isn't they at the Country Star? Alan Weiss and Adam Polina. So there's a lot of hands in this. And it's leaving a lot open for color, but when you're going to do a splash page for a new series, you really have to kind of... This doesn't grab you. Like, I bought this as a curiosity. And, the storytelling is good. And, the coloring is kind of... Page to page, it's real helpful, but sometimes it's just really wonky. But I never found out who Gray was. I even looked it up on Wikipedia, and it doesn't show up at all. There was a Gray Morrow, but this is not his stuff at all. Gray Morrow was a genius who did masterful pages with halftone shading and stuff like that. So it's kind of... These guys get superpowers at a convention. And, it's a decent premise. There's a lot of nerd callbacks in here. Like somebody mentions a Rob Liefeld comic and such. And they come up with the code names and all that. And it is interesting. It's just that... I don't know. It's just very unusual. And I don't... That sounds real. I'm damning by faint praise, yes. So, and the story is not bad, It's very... Although, just... It's similar to Harbinger, but a lot of these superhero teams always have this sort of shared experience that makes them superheroes. So it's not bad, but it's not something that makes me want to come back. So Defiance graphic novel. I wonder if they ever did that or not. Plasm, which is a book originally called Plasm, then became Warriors of Plasm after Marvel tried to sue because they were coming out with a Marvel UK book called Plasmer, which I kind of think was maybe a little petty. I think they were like, okay, well, we sued over XO Man of War because we own the X for X-Men. So Plasm was out in the, promos and everything, and at the last minute they changed it to Warriors of Plasm, which had David Lapham's first work, I think, and he was already, really, really great at the time. So, it just seems like what happened was, Shooter sort of got sued out of his companies. I mean, not necessarily Valiant. Valiant with XO Man of War, and then it seems like Marvel was just wanting to get at him, And I don't know him personally, but it's just weird. It's a weird thing. He's very controversial. I've known people who've worked with him who've had great things to say, and one that there's no middle ground. Ones that really don't have good things to say about him. And, it's just the way humanity goes. So, Blue Devil. I just read this last night. This really needs a nice collection. So this came out in June of '84. First issue, and it's by the writing team of. Come on. Okay. I got excited there. Really nice stuff there. Really, it's Paris Cullen's art, inked by Pablo Marcos, Gary Cohn, and Dan Mishkin, who are the co-creators of Amethyst, Princess of Jim World, which came out about the same time. So this Blue Devil, he's just it's an exoskeleton for this main character who is in this movie. He's like a monster. Well, he's a demon. So, and you meet all the cast and crew, and it's, oh man, remember that when I came out? Crazy shit. This is really cool here. Right about here. Man, this panel where my thumb is, that's such crazy detail. But then a real demon shows up. And So Blue Devil he's told to go out there. He's got some gimmicks in his armor and his trident. So really, it's fun. I mean, it's not fun like in a stupid way. Because there's lots of drama as well. But it's a throwback to, like pre-Dark Knight type stuff. Even though Dark Knight didn't happen yet. Or there's actually like a pre-Frank Miller Daredevil and then post. So this is more like something from the 70s, but in a good way. All the good parts. See, we made comics fun again. So I can't get the devil suit off. Turns out that demon blasted him and integrated him with his suit. And there were some fun adventures. And however, in Justice League number 103 or so, which was my very first professional issue as an inker, they had him hanging around the JLA. They had a bar or something like that. And a couple issues later, he got turned into an actual demon. It like really changed features and really gruesome looking. And so I remember a few issues in, I was like, oh, okay, they're going to get rid of this character who was fun, and now he's a demon. So it's just kind of weird. But yeah, it was like issue 103 or 105, 106, I don't know. But that was like my earliest stuff. And it was fun doing it, though. The Avengers. Thankfully, this Roger Stern era washed out the Jim Shooter era out of my mouth and my mind, because Yellow Jacket, smacking his wife and all that stuff, and he said he had nothing to do with it, but later on in the book, there's also Wasp with a Black Eye. So, it's one of those things we're getting past. Now listen to me, I'm already stuck in it, but let's get past it like these guys did. I love it. Masters of Evil. And El Milgram, inked by Joe Sinnott. I love those guys. They appeared first in Avengers number 5 with the Hulk as a guest star. And Spider-Man wanted to join the Avengers, and he hung on to their Quinjet as they were going to this battle. And, here we go. Really nice stuff. Rhino, Electro, and that guy there. Blackout. It's got this great goopy power. It's kind of like, you ever have a bowl of Jell-O and you scoop some of the Jell-O out of it? That's what it's like. So, anyway, there were some mess-ups because with Spider-Man and the Avengers, because he wasn't used to working with a team, and he was a wild card for them, and this is sort of a trial basis. She-Hulk in her leg warmers. And, yeah, I mean, just said it. He's just amazing. He really makes it. That's a really wild outfit she has there. It almost looks like a business suit if you took away the gloves. But it was better than the costume she got next, which was the purple and green. That was exactly the same costume as Molecule Man. And I don't know why. I don't know why that stuck for so long. So we got Electro. So Scarlet Witch takes out Electro just like that. I like that. Big old ugly Rhino. He's always great. Great character. Not much of a character. He's just like he's there to beat up people and to get beat up. So Spider-Man uses his spider sense and his technological know-how to shut down this 3 Mile Island kind of nuclear explosion thing. So they're asking for. He's trying to get a membership. We'd like clearance approval for a new Avenger. I guess, boy, I don't know. This is weird. Signing on as a rookie. $1,000 a week is for playing Spider-Man. Spider-Man, are you out of your mind? We have a file on him that's a yard long, and it still doesn't tell us a blasted thing about him. The man's a major security risk. No, I absolutely forbid it. The OK Star Fox, a guy from outer space, but my own government won't approve me. I feel awful about this, Spider-Man. Maybe if I made a personal appeal to the president. Nah, don't put yourself out, Cap. Me joining the Avengers was a dumb idea, anyway. And I'll tell you one thing. My congressman is definitely going to hear about this. Congressman? What on earth is a congressman? So, I know he's from outer space, but I thought I'd give him a British accent. I thought Star Fox being in the end credits of one of the movies of Marvel was kind of lame. I don't know. I just don't care about him, and I hate the name. The Wasp gave him that name. She says, "Well, you are kind of foxy, and you're from the stars. How about Star Fox?" And it's just bizarre. I mean, because usually if you have an animal name, you have some attributes that suggest that you are part of animal, and it's just weird. But also, he's just got so much attention. He's just there. He was Eros, the god of Titan, and I always thought him as a secondary character, but they stuck with him for way too long. But he's got a lot of fans. He's got lots and lots of fans. So what I know. Okay, everybody, leave comments below about the Avengers and Blue Devil. So we tried to do Blue Velvet from somebody way back when. The Good Guys. Anybody read any Defiant books? Read Sonja. And a masterful era of Detective Comics. Woofa, that's beautiful stuff. Batman between the about 85 through 2000 was like the top book, and then later on you had Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan doing some stunning work, and then you had a bunch of other creators, and you also had, I got to ink some of those books in the late 90s, so that was pretty cool, scratching that itch. Okay, everybody, enough about me. Let me know what you think, everybody. Take care. Have a great day.